Hello? Today we're finally doing a video you guys have been asking for years. We're hosting a formal club tour to show you the ins and outs of our dedicated gaming space. We'll discuss the floor plan, the key features we installed when designing the club, and we've even managed to dig up some decade-old footage showing the before and after from our 2014 renovation. Now, how did we pick the decor for our place? And how long did it take for us to get this place set up? And what do we wish that we'd done differently? Before we answer those questions, I want to show you where we all began back in 2001. Because for most of our club's existence, we didn't have this private space. 23 years ago, Chal and Keith started what would become our historical wargaming club. It began in the back of a local comic book store, and that store still exists today.
It's a bit wild looking back at these photos of the old days. We had some great games in the comic store. Do you remember our earliest years playing Napoleonics on those ugly green tables?
I sure do. Sometimes the minis weren't even painted. What sacrilege.
I know, but we were lucky that the comic store gave us that space. There were limitations. We had to be done by 9 p.m. sharp, and there was no way to leave a game set up from week to week.
And there was no storage, so anything that we brought we had to take home, and eventually our weekly night had to be shared with role-playing groups, cutting our table space in half, making it impossible for our club to grow. Not to mention the noise.
I remember the noise.
Yeah.
Do you remember the goblin voice?
Oh my god, the
Goblin voice.
Greetings, adventurers! Just... Oh...
In January 2014, I bought this building, which is actually just 10 minutes away from the comic book store where we were playing. It has 2 apartments on the 2nd floor and 2 office spaces on the ground floor, one of which was vacant. And in 2014, that vacant office looked like this. White walls, big windows, and very high ceilings. A perfect blank canvas. Lots of guys chipped in to help transform this space in just 8 days. This was March 21st, 2014, when we delivered the first building materials. And this was March 29th. That was a fun 8 days.
Now we did cheat a little bit. Greg hired a professional contractor to do some of the work, like installing the hardwood floor and building the bookcase along the back of the entry foyer, but we saved a lot of money by providing the manual labor ourselves. We also got creative with materials, so the copper ceiling tiles are not actually metal or even plastic. They're cheap cardboard tiles we painted with metallic paint, but from 16 feet away, high above you, they give the illusion of a real metal ceiling.
As a club, we settled on a Victorian-era theme, so we wanted all of the walls to look really cluttered with paintings and artifacts sourced from all over the world.
And a lot of the stuff came from guys in the club who donated it over the years. Firearms, paintings, books, helmets, you name it, even the animal heads. What proper Victorian parlor would be complete without hunting trophies or a Zulu spear? People often ask about the guns. Yes, they are real. We have 2 World War II bolt-action rifles and 2 Old Martini Henrys mounted on the wall. The rest of the weapons and swords are, of course, reproductions. Before Victorian Parlor, we had considered other themes, like World War II bunker.
Yeah, I remember that discussion. The bunker was a really popular second choice, so we compromised by getting giant maps and clocks on this wall to capture some World War II flavor. Everybody always asks about the maps and where we got them. They are original artwork done by a high school friend of mine, specifically for our club.
I've always loved how comically massive these maps are.
They are very large. But every time that we get a new visitor to the club, their first comment is actually how much smaller the club feels than it appears on camera. Our office space is just 495 square feet on the main level, so it can be a tight squeeze when you factor in a bar, 3 6x4 tables, and a poker table. Luckily, we do also have a small bathroom in the back.
Very small bathroom, and not as often cleaned as one would like. Now, one of the best decisions that we did was putting this 4-foot-high deep chair rail around the entire perimeter of the room. Very useful when wargaming.
Zach, I do have one big regret about our 2014 design. This bar. It's honestly just too small. It's not big enough for guys to be able to sit more than 2 at the bar, and it's also too close to the gaming table right in front of them.
Now, where do we keep all of our toys, you might wonder? Well, our club has a secret weapon, the basement. Look at all these toys. so many cool artifacts and boards from previous projects, things that Greg's made, other people have made. So much terrain. Now it's very messy, but there's a lot of excellent stuff down here. Back here is the filming area, some more board games we played down here. We've also seen this from some of our video, like after action mid-battle reports, a place to secretly conspire here on this couch. It's not very big, and it's just absolutely brilliant with all these standing lamps that Greg's jammed in here amongst these wargaming tables. We are stuffed to the gills on space. And more board game storage. Just so much good stuff. And then back there we have the oubliette, where we stuff people and put them in timeout for when they spill whiskey, which doesn't happen very often. Random Egyptian Alright, I'm into it. The basement is full size, matching our upstairs space, so we have nearly 500 square feet of storage down here. Of course, back then, we didn't know we'd need filming space at all.
No, in 2014, when we renovated this empty office, Little Wars TV was still years away from becoming a thing. And honestly, I'm not sure the YouTube channel would have been possible without a dedicated gaming space. This room provided the perfect backdrop for our war games, and I think it's helped to make our channel as popular as it is.
Now, we're very fortunate, but there's things with this war room that maybe we would have done differently.
Yeah, I mentioned the bar. There are other things. What if we could do it all again?
Well, you did mention that there was 2 office spaces on this floor.
I did mention that earlier in the video. And the other office space is just behind this door.